Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jag from Jaggy Sports. Breaking news. NBA analyst Ian Eagle. I know a lot of people don't know who that is, but he's legit. He knows who Kevin Durant is. Spoke to him many times. He's spoken to a lot of NBA players. A lot of NBA players know him very well. He actually reported that the Nets are fiercely trying to get the city to allow Kyrie Irving to become a full-time player.
Perk, before we get to anything else, I've got a question for you. How'd you enjoy that 22-piece spicy wing dinner that Kyrie served up last night in his season debut?
I mean, Charlie, did you see it? And it was three different flavors. You had the Cajun rub, the honey barbecue, and the lemon pepper.
Ooh, it was delicious. Well, let's get into all of that yumminess right now because Kyrie's return made the difference last night, helping the Nets defeat the Pacers 129-121. The guard posted 22 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals in hitting several crucial baskets as Brooklyn clawed back from a 19-point deficit. His presence also helping his teammates do their thing, including KD, who finished with 39 points. So, Kyrie, tell us how that felt last night.
I've had a lot of debuts, but nothing comes close to this one. It meant a little bit more, just because at this stage, taking off 8 months or being out of the game for 8 months and coming back in, and there's so much uncertainty. Just how many minutes, what's the flow of the game gonna be like? How are my teammates gonna feel, and what's the game flow gonna be? You just don't have any idea. So I went in with just an open mindset, just to ground myself, be present, and do whatever it takes to win.
Okay, you got to shake off those jitters. Now, Monica, I know where you've stood for the past week or so on this debate, but after seeing what he did last night, is part-time Kyrie good for the Nets?
Oh, Charlie, part-time Kyrie is not bad for the Nets. He's a terrific basketball player, and if I can just stick with Perk's chicken wing analogy, that was the most consistent chicken wing order that I would have expected. In fact, if I didn't know that the shop that makes the chicken wings had missed 35 opportunities to cook those chicken wings, I would have never known that he had missed any time at all. And so I think in many ways, last night's performance for me, and I mean this in a positive, was kind of unremarkable. It was standard Kyrie Irving, and if you don't know the context of the big picture, you would have never known. And in particular, I thought in the second half of the third quarter and in the fourth quarter, his leveling up defensively was something that stood out to me as a positive. I think his offensive ability, no questions asked, right? Like his layup package is undefeated, his handles are elite. But when he turned it on defensively and helped the Nets finish that game on, I believe, a 31-16 run, that to me signifies that he has the pulse of this year's Nets squad and understands that defensively, they've been a team that's been formidable on that side of the ball. And so he had to continue in that vein.
Monica. Hey, the stage was set so perfect yesterday. Listen, here's the thing. The stage, it was a perfect example of what I was trying to explain to you yesterday, ma'am, when I said, listen, on the road, you're getting ready for the long haul. On the road, you need your superstars to step up for you. Here it is, Kyrie Irving, first game back. They were down double figures. I believe at one point it might have been 18 points they were down. And all of a sudden, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving took over the game. Now, my biggest takeaway from this, the word trust. And from what I peeped is that Kevin Durant, along with the Brooklyn Nets, trust Kyrie Irving more than they trust James Harden. And here's why. Because we know in the biggest moments, we have witnessed it time and time again, from Kyrie hitting one of the greatest shots in NBA history and finals history. We know that when you get down double figures on the road, we know that Kyrie Irving is capable of having that type of killer instinct to go out there and do what he did last night. And look, I'm not overreacting because we know that he could do this in the postseason as well. So my point is, when I look at why the Brooklyn Nets would consider bringing back or consider bringing back Kyrie Irving part-time is because of the trust factor. And not taking anything away from James Harden and saying he's not a hell of a player. He's just not Kyrie Irving when it comes to the big moments, especially on the road and especially when it matters the most. Did you see that smile on Kevin Durant's face after the game? Did you see the joy that he had? I mean, seriously, the basketball world had a joy because we all take for granted at times certain people or certain individuals until they're gone, and then they come back and we say, you know what? We got a whole nother appreciation for Kyrie Irving.
I think Kyrie had that joy, right? Too, Perk? I mean, he talked about the 8 months away and what it means to be on the court. All right, so you just went somewhere I wasn't really ready to go this morning. I will say this.
It happens like that.
You definitely... It goes like that sometimes. It definitely is evident, right, to a basketball fan, an analyst like yourself, a casual fan. It is evident that Kyrie makes both KD and James Harden's jobs easier. There is certainly a level of trust there because otherwise this very unique situation probably doesn't fly. More than James Harden? I understand where you're coming from, but just again, because of this unique situation, I think James is actually in a position, not that it's competitions between teammates, but for the sake of our conversation, I think James is in a position to garner some of that trust back just because he's going to be there. And I get it. Some of Kyrie is better than no Kyrie. But Perk, you've been a part of championship squads, and there is something to be said for continuity. Now, this is a unique group of guys. The big three wanted to play together. They're going to make these concessions. But I don't care what you say. There is still something to be said for continuity. And so I think because James has the opportunity to be there consistently, especially if he can stay healthy, I think he can garner some of that trust back.
So, Ian Eagle has no reason to lie about this. So clearly it's true because of the fact that, of what Kyrie brought to the table yesterday, and the Nets came back from a 19-point deficit to defeat the Pacers, and they're thinking we need this guy full-time to actually get that championship ring. And because you got Klay Thompson coming back, and so you gotta level up with the Golden State Warriors because Klay Thompson, he's fully vaccinated, and he gets to play full time. So the Nets are going behind the scenes and aggressively trying to get the city of New York, Brooklyn, to allow Kyrie Irving to play in that vicinity, in that state. Currently, you're not allowed to. That's why he's a part-time player. But the Nets are trying to negotiate with the city to allow him to become a full-time player, essentially breaking the mandate and making an exemption on the mandate itself. To me, that is not good because you can't just have exemptions for NBA players and not let's just say, for example, a government worker in New York lost his or her job because of the mandate, and now you have Kyrie Irving, who's a NBA player, saying, "Hey, can I be exempt from this mandate?" That doesn't make any sense because, if you're gonna do one thing, you can't just make an exemption for one person and not the rest of the people who got fired from this mandate itself. The Nets are pulling a very, very immoral thing, in my opinion. Just trying to get Kyrie Irving to get an exemption and forget about all those other people that lost their jobs. Forget about everyone that has to abide by this mandate. But no, Kyrie Irving is so special that he gets to be exempt. So tell me what you guys think. Subscribe to this channel. Tell me what you guys think on the Nets trying to go behind the scenes and trying to get this guy to become exempt. And if you like Ian Eagle, I encourage you guys to Google him, check out his analysis on many topics, and you can see clearly, like, he's with KD on broadcast, Kevin Durant. So he talks to Kevin Durant. He talks to many NBA players, and he's legit. And so I'm pretty sure he's not lying about this, right? So it is what it is. Tell me what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment section. Is it right for the Nets to get Kyrie Irving exempt from this mandate and not everyone else who lost their jobs? This is Jag Manga, Jaggy Sports.